All right, listen up. This is a Code Ninja security advisory. We are going live right now with a coordinated vulnerability disclosure for CVE 2026-1281. What you're about to hear is incredibly time-sensitive intelligence.
And let's be crystal clear about this. This is not a drill. This is a code red alert. The clock is already ticking.
So what are we looking at? A CVSS score of 9.8. That's out of a possible 10. For anyone who doesn't live and breathe this stuff, that is absolutely catastrophic. It is a near maximum severity rating. We're in worst-case scenario territory here.
And please understand, this isn't some theoretical threat cooked up in a lab. We have confirmed active in-the-wild exploitation. That means attackers are using this vulnerability right now as we speak. This is a live zero-day event.
Okay, let's get into the official situation report. This is the code red alert. So what does that 9.8 score actually mean? It means Unauthenticated Remote Code Execution, or RCE. In plain English, an attacker from anywhere in the world, without a username, without a password, without anything, can take complete control of your system. It's the digital equivalent of handing a complete stranger the master key to your entire infrastructure.
You want to know how serious this is? Just look at the government's response. On January 29th, CISA, the U.S. cybersecurity agency, slapped this thing right into its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. And they issued a mandate. The deadline for federal agencies to get this fixed, February 1st. That's a 3-day window. That is CISA screaming fire at the top of their lungs.
All right, so who needs to be worried? Let's talk scope. If you are running an on-premise Ivanti Endpoint Manager mobile, you might know it as EPMM, and your version is up to and including 12.7.0.0, you are vulnerable, period. Now, the good news. If you're on Ivanti's cloud products like Neurons for MTM, or you're using Sentry or their standard endpoint manager, you're in the clear. You need to know which camp you fall into, like yesterday.
Okay, let's get under the hood. Time for a technical deep dive on the exploit itself. You have to understand the weapon before you can build the shield.
The root cause here is, well, it's actually kind of brilliant in a terrifying way. It's called Bash Arithmetic Expansion injection. Basically, an attacker can trick a script into running hidden commands while it thinks it's just doing a simple math check. It's a classic bait and switch at the code level.
And here's how we know just how bad this was. Look at how Ivanti fixed it. They didn't just patch the broken Bash scripts, they completely ripped them out. They replaced them with compiled Java classes. That tells you everything you need to know. The original code was so fundamentally flawed, it was easier to just burn it and start over.
So how does it work? Well, the researchers who tore this apart laid it out for us. Step 1. The attacker sends a simple, totally normal-looking GET request to an open endpoint. Step 2. They hide their malicious command inside one parameter. Step 3. They use another parameter to cleverly point back to the first one. When the script on the server goes to do its little math check, boom! It follows that pointer and runs the attacker's code. Game over.
You gotta give credit where it's due. The folks at Watchtower Labs who reverse engineered this whole thing said it best. Someone knows Bash far too well, and we love it. And that's exactly right. It's a tip of the hat to the cleverness of the exploit, but more importantly, to the critical work the good guys do to bring these threats into the light so we can all defend ourselves.
Okay, that's enough of the how. Now let's talk about the what you need to do right now. We're shifting gears to your response protocol. These are your immediate actions. Think of this as a 3-step sprint. Don't walk, run. 1. Identify every single on-prem EPMM instance you have. 2. Prioritize. Anything facing the internet is on fire. Deal with it first. 3. Patch. Get the version-specific RPM hotfix from Ivanti and apply it immediately. This is not a change request for next week. This is an all-hands-on-deck, drop-everything emergency.
But wait, there's a huge gotcha here, and you have to listen to this. The fix is a temporary hotfix. It does not survive a system upgrade. Let me repeat that. If you patch and then you upgrade the system later, you have just made yourself vulnerable all over again. You must reapply this hotfix after every single upgrade until a permanent fix is out.
Okay, what if you literally can't patch right this second? Maybe you're in a change freeze. You still have options, but they're not as good. You can restrict access with IP whitelisting. You can put a web application firewall, a WAF, in front of the appliance. Or you can use the built-in ACLs to lock down API access. Think of these as sandbags against a flood. They'll help, but they won't fix the hole in the dam. All right, now for the hard part. We have to move into threat hunting mode. You must operate under the assumption that you've already been compromised. Here's how to find the intruders.
Here's your first weapon. This line of code, this is a regex pattern. It's designed to hunt for exploit attempts in your Apache logs. Here's the logic. Normal traffic to this endpoint gets a 200 OK response. The exploit, whether it works or not, often throws a 404 not found error. This signature specifically hunts for those 404s. You need to run this against your logs.
Beyond that one log signature, here are your other key indicators of compromise. In your logs, you're hunting for those 404s. On the file system, be on the lookout for any weird .war or .jar files. And check your error pages. Attackers love to backdoor things like the 401.jsp. And finally, watch your network traffic. Your EPMM box should almost never be making connections out to the internet. If you see that happening, you've probably got a reverse shell on your hands.
Which brings us to the verdict. What do you do if you find something? And what does this all mean for the future?
Now, I need you to listen very, very carefully to this next part. This is the official guidance from Ivanti themselves. They do not recommend trying to clean a system once it's been popped. This is what we in the industry call the burn it down protocol. You just can't trust the machine anymore. The risk that the attacker left a hidden backdoor is just too high.
So, if you confirm a breach, this is your recovery checklist. It's not optional. 1. Isolate that appliance from the network. Unplug it. 2. Rebuild it from a known good backup, or even better, a fresh install. 3. Reset every single password and service account that ever touched that box. Admin, LDA, everything. And 4. Revoke and replace all its public certificates. You cannot skip a single one of these steps.
Look, this whole incident is just another brutal reminder. The fight we're in, it's measured in hours and minutes, not days and weeks. The threat landscape is evolving constantly, and your defense has to be faster, more agile, and smarter than the next 0 day that's just around the corner.
So what's your next move? Because it's critical. You can't afford to be caught flat-footed when the next one of these drops. Your next security action is simple. Subscribe to this channel for our intelligence briefings. And don't just subscribe, hit that notification bell. That's the only way you're going to get this kind of critical threat intel the moment we release it. Stay vigilant, and please stay safe.